It is time, so if you want to get going, let's see, wait a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we have enough.
In progress.
Great. Thank you. So welcome everyone to the June 26th Bonner County Planning Board meeting. And we do have several votes today, meeting minutes and 2 action items. And let me go through roll call. Bill Santos, I'm here. Mike Wiedemer. Here. You, Sam Trapani. Andrew Hollister. Present. Orlando Rivera. Here. Dave Watson. Here. Millie Safranek. Robert Colby. Rachel Barnhart. Welcome. Jeff McCann. Adrian Green. Amy Grower, Peter McMahon, Robert Franklin, Joe Taddeo, Richard Tantalo. Here. Welcome, Christina Doherty, Sean Murphy, here. And Andy Frazier. And there's Robert Colby. Can you hear us, Robert?
I'm here.
All right, awesome. Very good. All right, first item on the agenda is approval of the May 22nd, 2025 meeting minutes. They were emailed to you in the meeting packet. I do need a motion for those, please. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Andrew. Any comments on those revisions? Hearing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Are there any opposed? Any abstentions? Great, minutes are approved. Move on to announcements and communications. Any board members or staff have anything for the group?
Maybe I will give the board a little update about the June 12th, the planning department or the president of the planning board, we hosting a training program for age-friendly community for the lifetime, and we have 74 town and village and the city of board members attend. So we have 74 attendees, and so it was a 4-hour training and received a great feedback, and everyone all feel like about learning, about so there's a little bench theory, and I know Millie and Dave was in the training. So it's kind of talking about, instead of saying no, how the planning board and zoning board to think about, other way to address the concern of the community. So I'm not sure, but Millie or Dave, you want to share some of the next good?
Well, I'll share that, there were some recommended questions, things to think about and things like that. And so at the next planning board, we had an apartment project that came before us. And so, I asked some of the questions that you had us thinking about, like the 0-step entry, accessibility and all of that sort of thing. So I think it was good. I'm going to put that into my regular rotation of questions to ask when these types of developments come before us.
Nice.
We are the past staff over here, sometimes we talk about in public space, put some extra benches and things, thinking about for younger kids and for the older adults. And actually, we try to create a place, welcoming our youngest and oldest communities.
Great. I did skip that staff introductions. I'm sorry. Did you want to introduce anyone here while we're in announcements?
Sure. So today we have 2 agenda items, all from the Monroe County Parks, and I'll have the director, Pam Meredith, and Tom Morrissey, and Ashley Long. Yeah, so those are the past staff here. Oh.
Lisa's here and you're here, so that's great. So thank you. Anyone else? Great. All right. Well, any other announcements? Hearing none, we'll move on to action items. The first one is to amend the 2025 capital budget to increase the funding for the project entitled Construction of a 9/11 First Responders Memorial Park or Memorial at Highland Park. And increase it by $100,000 from $250,000 to $350,000 for a total authorization of $350,000. I need a motion for that, please. Richard.
Second.
Thank you, David. So Parks is here and look to present.
Sure. A couple comments here on this project. The latest engineer's estimate from last year has the probable cost of the 9/11 first responders project at $323,000 with a 10% contingency. Harry Bronson's office secured an additional $100,000 earlier this year to offset the difference in the original anticipated cost before the design was put together and the project as it stands now. We anticipate bid packages to be available on July 11th and opened on August 12th. It is anticipated that we would break ground by September 11th of this year.
Any questions for Pat or Parks? So these are ballpark estimates, or they're pretty much had an estimator.
Hopefully bids will.
Yeah, right.
Here.
The bids are coming in August.
Discussion.
Okay. Great. Are there any plans? Give plan B, or is it pretty much there's no with the design? There's one design that makes sense, and that's it.
If it's a reasonable small difference, I
Yeah.
think Parks would pick up that difference. If it's anything more than reasonable, I don't,
And someone would have to make the
tens of
decision.
thousands of dollars. And,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
right.
you gotta have
Sure.
conversations.
Any other questions from the group?
Did I understand that there's with a $100,000 increase, that there's a grant secured to cover that increase? Is that?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so effectively, there's no cash change.
Yeah.
This is the dormitory authority? Daphne?
I believe so. It's I always forget the new name for member items, but it was through Assemblyman Bronson's office. DASNY executes those grants.
They do a lot of construction monitoring. They have a whole group that does that, and I think you can, that's part of that. But I don't know the ins and outs of that either. So it's interesting.
More the facilitator, I guess.
They will visit. Yeah, funding, and then they have a rep that attends meetings monthly, I think it is, or to look at finances and make sure the construction's moving. Yeah, that was a good question. Yeah. Anyone else?
Okay, great project.
Yeah, it's nice. Thank you for keeping it rolling. Hearing nothing else, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, Robert. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Great, it is next. The next item we have is item 3B. And that is to amend the 2025 through 2030 Capital Improvement Program to advance the Ontario Beach Park Master Plan Improvements Project from 2026 up to 2025, and amend the 2025 capital budget to add a project entitled Ontario Beach Park Master Plan Improvements in the amount of $200,000. And I need a motion for that, please. Thank you, Orlando. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mike. And again.
Mr. Chairman. The intent is to install 4 gates at the county-controlled parking lots at Ontario Beach Park that will be closed when the park closes at 10 p.m. There will be 1 slide gate, 2 swing gates, and 1 automated gate to allow for cars to exit the lots after 10 p.m. closing time of the park. These 2 parking lots are east of Lake Avenue and north of Corrigan Street. The further lot north of the Port of Rochester will remain open after 10 p.m. Parks Department has coordinated with law enforcement agencies, MCSO, RPD, and state police, in addition to the Department of Public Safety regarding the safety and security of patrons visiting the park. The collaboration between these agencies has led to a number of actions from the department to increase the safety and security of patrons. Conversion of LED lighting in the park, deployment of 3 additional lighting towers adjacent to the parking lot, the trimming of trees to increase visibility within the park, the installation of new signage at park entrances clearly stating the rules and regulations, the change in county law to close the park at 10 p.m. to coincide with law enforcement shift change, coordination of utility vehicles for probation and security personnel, deployment of security camera trailers. More permanent cameras are planned for the future. Seasonal fencing and permanent concrete planter boxes and bollards have been added strategically to keep vehicles out of the park. These safety measures aren't the only strategies we are using to encourage people to come to the park for the right reasons. We continue to invest significant money in the Roebuck Center, the playground, the new splash pad, the carousel, and accessible mat to help people with mobility issues to reach the water at the beach. The project is being fast-tracked so that we have the opportunity to put these gate features to use this summer season, and will be a valuable resource for law enforcement when needed. They will allow for resources to respond to more important matters than having to use their vehicles to close off key areas of the parking lots when necessary. We will continue to evaluate any issues that may arise with business owners in the area and consider any wayfinding signage proposals to minimize any patron frustrations. There's no fencing being installed at this time. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have about this project.
So what do the gates look like?
So is it all right if I kind of stand up at the screen there and point some things out?
Sure, yeah.
We go back to that other. So right up here, along the south side of the park, there will be a slide gate. It needs to cover
Sure.
two
Two lanes.
directions of travel here. And there's really no room for a gate to be on the north side of this driveway.
Right.
So that gate will slide into the grass area between the driving and the parking area.
And that's all curbing? there?
Yes, this
And
is
the
all,
islands are
all these
curbed?
dark areas you hear are landscape curb islands. As you come down this main area between the parking lots we maintain and the parking lot the city maintains, the first entrance you come to on the left will have 2 swing gates. There's room on either side of that for the gates to swing open and remain within the landscaped island area. If you come out onto Corrigan Street, similar situation where you have 2 swing gates swinging back into the concrete island areas. There are handicap accessible ramps in a few places on both sides of this island and entranceway. Bollards are being set up so cars can't drive up through those and negotiate into there. They will be spaced apart so that wheelchairs can get through there. And then the first entrance to the left, which currently is an in and out, but also currently temporarily blocked off with plastic barriers. Those barriers will be removed, and it will be a little different than what this plan is, whereby the gate machine will be on this side of the opening, and the exit only drive lane will be towards Lake Avenue. So it just kind of flip-flop this so that it makes more sense to be an exit versus an entry. So that will be a machine that will have a drive-up loop. If the arm is down and you drive up to it, it will open up, and that will be functioning all the time, 24/7. The gate may be remained open during the day. We may have an option to have it down, but anybody that's in here, whether the parking lot is closed or not, would be able to still exit the parking lot area. Any customers of businesses here or over here that may happen to be parked in there after 10 o'clock can still get out. So that's really kind of the gist of what they are and where they're located.
Minus the last gate, the exit gate, all the entry gates They're all manual.
They're all,
Staff
yes, they're
will
all
close
manual.
them,
Somebody
right?
would have to go to
Yeah.
them, lock them up, chain them. Park staff would typically probably do that. Law enforcement, if there's something going on, some type of public safety emergency, they would have the ability to close those. I don't know if Chief, you want to speak to this project at all? I know you've had some involvement in discussions.
Yeah, the only comments is we're listening to all of the stakeholders involved as far as getting vehicles in and out quickly, especially during a particular situation where we need to clear the area out. We'll make it that much more manageable. Plus, after a certain time, it'll be a little bit more difficult for people to get in, especially after closing time, with the park closing at 10 o'clock.
I can speak a little bit to the number of parking spaces that are in this area. So the west lot that we operate has roughly 158 regular spaces, 14 handicap spots. The east lot, which is right here, has 230 regular spaces and 9 handicap spots. Overall, in the general area, including on-street parking and gravel lots that are, in different areas, there are roughly 1,100, 1,200 parking spaces in this area. So anything that would be closed after 10 p.m. If these are closed at 10 p.m., it's only affecting roughly 411 parking spaces out of the 1,100 to 1,200 spots in the whole area.
Right, because you have some across the street as well, right?
Yeah, there's some
Behind
across the
Abbott's,
street
some-
behind Abbott's. You've got another parking lot that's near the ball fields and across from Roebuck Center. There's some parking spaces around where the port is. The on-street parking that's up and down Lake Avenue along Corrigan. And at that time of night, traffic has very much diminished.
So the third lot that's in the far right, which I believe is adjacent to the river, is that maintained by the city or is?
That's maintained by the city, yes.
So they, I'm kind of thinking about like there's 3 lots on that image. They've got the center and then the one on the right.
We maintain these two.
We
I
have the
got
two
you.
on the
County
left.
is-
those
okay.
two, yeah.
Thank you.
Does the city have plans to be closing the other half, or is that
No,
intended?
No,
to
I
be
think
left open?
really you need to leave some parking open for people to run their businesses and have customers there. I did go online earlier today and looked up some different time frames of the parking lots from satellite imagery, and you can see some of the chaos that's been occurring in these lots over time, called the Fast and Furious down there. This project here will really cut down on that type of activity. There has been a number of temporary structures or barricades put in the lots to kind of cut down on that. With these gates in place, we may be able to remove those and open up some additional parking that's kind of been interfered with those barricades that are in place now.
Yeah, what do the gates actually look like aesthetically? Are they gonna match the fencing that you have in the park?
It
Or
is.
Gonna be security looking.
There is just one, you want to say you want these things to blend in with the park, but you also don't want to be safe. Don't want to be unsafe about it either. You don't want something that blends in so well that someone on a bicycle or motorcycle driving is going to just run into it and not see it. So,
Well, isn't the fencing like black, like wrought iron, if I recall? Is that
there
gonna
is
be
black
like?
wrought iron fencing in certain locations around the
Yeah.
park. We do have a temporary green fabric fence that is seasonal in nature that goes around the park. That is to keep people from driving through the lawns with their stuff to get to the pavilions.
I
There's just
see,
too
yeah.
many people out there. It's unsafe. And once a few people start doing it, then a lot of people start doing it. So the temporary fence goes up seasonally, it comes down. Long-term, it's nice to maybe have a more permanent fence, but there's a lot of people that don't want to see a fence up there at all. So this is the the green fabric fence is the best thing we have right now.
Yeah, I'm talking permanent fences. Most of it's like the black.
Right now, we don't have any plans for any additional permanent fence at the moment, but
I meant the
any,
gates. What do the gates look like?
the gates right now, I believe will be a galvanized metal. We'll assess those colors. We may have to put up some reflectors on those. Once they start going in, we'll kind of take some visual assessments of it and try to determine what's going to look best, but also be safe.
It's gonna be sturdy, durable. Any other questions? Okay. Yeah, Andrew.
Just on the timeline, so it sounds like we want to move this up for use this year, so what are we looking for in installation time?
We believe we'll be done with this project before the end of next month, July. The only factor that may cause it to be longer than that is
We'll agree on that.
the
Yeah.
arm, the automatic arm. We believe the contractor has found one that's readily available in stock right now, but if something were to come up, that would be the one more difficult lead time item, but we believe we'll have it before the end of July.
Any other questions? We good? Good. Everyone's good? Great, thanks for the presentation. Hearing no other comments or questions, all in favor?
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Any abstentions? Great, motion is approved. Any other business from the group? Hearing none, our next scheduled meeting is July 31st at 3:30. Regular meeting time, likely here. And enjoy your summer. I need a motion for adjournment, please. Thank you, Rachel. Is there a second? Thank you, Millie. All in favor?
Aye.
Have a great summer. Thanks for coming out. Appreciate it. Good, everyone.